Hi, and welcome to the Raw, Real, and Rebelicious podcast. My name is Michelle Rebel Coops, and as a personal branding coach, I guide and mentor high achieving professionals and entrepreneurs to liberate themselves from the invisible shackles that keep them from expressing themselves authentically and unapologetically in work, life, and even love. I believe we can all become our own powerhouse and become true leaders of our lives. So let's explore how you can become who you're meant to be. A free, radiant, joyful, and juicy creature of love who takes charge like a true leader does. Hi, and welcome to the second episode. In this episode, I'm going to speak a little bit around people being too attached to a certain role or title or position or whatever, because being too attached to something, when you're overly identifying with a role or a title, that can actually limit us in a big time. So let me start with an example, a story of a client of mine. Let's call him Eric for now. And he contacted me because he has been struggling with his marriage actually for a long time. And a couple of months ago, he decided, you know what, this is enough. I'm going to go. And he went. Actually, for the second time, they separated. And this was actually the start of a very new, adventurous lifestyle for him. He started exploring polyamory, open relationships, finding out if this maybe would be a path he would want to continue. But, as time went by, at some point, he and his wife, even though they're not together, they're not divorced yet either, they reconnected over a few bottles of wine. Now, this became a little bit complicated because obviously the emotions are still there. And at some point he contacted me and he said, I'm really struggling here. I'm trying to find a way to keep my marriage, keep the family life I have with her, but also live that life that I actually want to live, which is open and polyamorous. And I feel that she's not open to that. And at the same time, I'm also wondering, why can she not be one of the partners? Because it would not be enough to be with her. Actually, the sexual connection isn't really there anymore. And the thing is that what I was listening to as he was talking was that there was basically nothing left but friendship. And he still wanted to put himself and her in a position of partners, a partnership, only because of the family life they had together. And I pointed out to him that he was stuck in a way of thinking in trying to mold the situation into this form or a box that he thought it had to be in. He found that he had to, find a way to stay partners so that the kids would benefit from that. And in the meantime, so that they'd both be free. At the same time, he didn't really want to let go of her because he was somewhat insecure around how he would respond if she would find another partner. And his ego got in the way because he was so used to being the partner for her husband that he so identified with that role that any solution he was trying to discover had to include himself in that role of husband or partner. And he wasn't really looking at it from a distance to see, let's just see what is here in this moment. Let's see what's here presently. And what was here presently was this beautiful connection between two people who had shared their lives for a number of years and had both come to the conclusion that this was not the way to go, that they weren't compatible in that way. And they were so close still as people, as human to human, as friends, that they still loved spending time together with the kids as well. There really was no problem at all. There was no limitation to whatever happiness they could provide for their children in being two adults who still could spend family time regardless of their personal connection. And it took him a little while to realize that he was actually one of the lucky people who is still in a good connection with his ex, and that there really was no reason for him to find a solution that included a partnership between the two of them. And this was only because during the talk, I pointed out to him that, to really set each other free and live your life the way that you want to, you sometimes need to detach from the roles that you play or for the roles that you have assumed over time. You see, we start to identify with a certain role. We start to identify with the position that we have in someone's life. And of course, the idea that maybe someone else is going to fill that position, that hurts, because no, that's my place. You hear the word my, it's like a possession. But that will shackle us. It will cage us if we stay attached to that. In the end, regardless of the history that we have someone, the beautiful history, that will remain. We have the memories. But sometimes it's also good to look at what is really present here in this moment. And it's okay to decide, we're going to set each other free. And to detach from the role or the identity that you think is you. You think he thought of himself as the husband. But in fact, he's so much more than that. That was just a role. And for him what really helped him is that he detached from that role. He started de-identifying with it, because who he really is not just that husband. And he could still play the role of loving father and friend to his ex-wife. So if you ever feel like you're struggling to let go of something from the past, then understand that you are not the role that you play. You may play a role for a certain time in your life. And that is beautiful, because you can actually mean something to someone else. But it is not who you are. So don't identify with the roles you have, the titles you have, with the positions that you hold. Understand that who you really are is something that is someone who will remain even when all those roles and titles are gone. That is who you truly are. I hope that this helps. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're hungry for more, please check out my Brand Rebel app in the App Store or the Play Store. Just simply type in "Be a Brand Rebel" and you will find it instantly. It's free and it's fun. For now, have a magical day. Stay raw, stay real, and stay rebelicious.